Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. The Tennessee Titans hit the football field today for the first day of training camp, and we are breaking it down. Welcome into Titans Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Brett Alper. And before we break down training camp, the first day one takeaways, we had some moves. Now, we'll talk about Lorenzo Carter getting put on the reserved and retired list. Yeah, shockingly, he just said, I'm done playing football. Will Levis, that was kind of already assumed he was getting put on the season-ending injured reserve, but they made another signing. Now, the Titans did sign running back Jordan Mims last week, but they also signed former Lions running back Jamar Jefferson. And I'll just read you a quick couple stats for him. He only played in 2 games last year for Detroit, 6 carries, 22 yards. So with the Titans depth chart with Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears, with Julius Chestnut, I do not see him making a roster spot, but it's always nice to have a little bit of signing, a little bit of news here as a player to watch during training camp. But Tennessee Titans football is officially here, and if you're excited like I'm excited, go ahead, hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. Let's show all of YouTube just how much we're ready for Titans football. Now, the first couple of practices are kind of like OTAs here in training camp. You're kind of gearing up for the season. So they're not just going right out day one and putting on the pads. No, they're in helmets, their jerseys, and shorts. So you're not getting a full-on practice just yet. I would expect them next week to put on the pads, and that's where we get full force, full-on hits, and we get to see the true test of who is going to be ready for NFL football. First camp takeaway, and we talked about it at the top of the show, and it's Lorenzo Carter just hanging up the cleats saying, I'm done. And this was kind of a shocker to everybody, including Titans fans, including NFL fans. And we saw it from Jim Wyatt, the Titans reporter who works for Tennessee. And he said veteran edge rusher Lorenzo Carter has informed the Titans that he plans to retire. And, well, when it comes to Carter's stats, he's kind of just been on the decline throughout his couple of last seasons. 32 tackles, 0 sacks as an edge rusher. That can't be good. 2023, 3 sacks, and you see it just going down more and more and more. And when it comes to, just Lorenzo Carter, I think once he saw that Femi Oladejo signed that contract, and we're going to be talking about him a little bit later in the show, he saw with him, Draymond Jones, Sebastian Joseph Day, he wasn't going to get much playing time here and could also be on the chopping block. So he said, all right, well, this isn't kind of worth it for me. Let's go ahead and call it a career. But shout out to him. Shout out for playing many years in the NFL. And the best is yet ahead of you as you go into your retirement. Takeaway number 2. We're got to talk about Cam Ward, and he looks solid. I'm not going to say he looked amazing like he did during OTAs where he was throwing 18 straight completions, but no interceptions on the day. I was impressed with what I saw from him. 12 for 17. And he was throwing the ball nonstop just to a whole bunch of different wide receivers. We saw Gunnar Helm get a bunch of catches. We saw Calvin Ridley get a bunch of catches. We saw Treylon Burks get a bunch of catches. But overall, when they asked him in his little media availability after his camp, after day one, and this was a complete mistype by Paul Kaharski, who corrected himself, not minicamp, training camp, but Cam Ward called it mid. And that's just what I want to see out of my quarterback, because if he thinks 12 for 17 is mid, what is he going to think is good? If he goes 15 for 17, is that going to be mid? That is his first training camp in the NFL, and I'm really impressed to see that he just wants to get better. And we see Cam Ward being the first one in the building and last one out. And now we officially know he is going to be the guy. He's officially quarterback 1 because Will Levis had that shoulder surgery put on IR, and we don't even know if he's going to be part of the Tennessee Titans next year. But this is what Brian Callahan had to say before training camp on just Cam Ward being that number 1 guy now that Will Levis is gone. He said, obviously, that's going to be a huge part of his development over the course of the camp, and those other guys, as in Brandon Allen and Tim Boyle, will fill in those other spots. And I've generally really carried 3 quarterbacks a lot of the years in camps, and for that reason. And that just tells me overall that he's probably not looking for another quarterback. I mean, I talked about it on the video when we saw Will Levis was going to be out for the season. Maybe they should bring in Carson Wentz as a backup. Tim Boyle actually had a really, really good camp. He was like 9 for 10 around there in his reps. I was surprised because you guys know all how much I feel about Tim Boyle, and Brandon Allen, I think, should be the backup quarterback, but we should probably sign someone else. If you're excited for Cam Ward to start because he's QB1, there is no quarterback competition, go ahead and like that video. Hit that thumbs up icon. It's free and easy, and it supports the show. Third takeaway, and it's just Treylon Burks, ? Because not only did Cam Ward call himself his mid-practice, he also was high praise more than anybody but Treylon Burks, or he was high praise on only Burks. And he said he's going to be one of the team's top receivers this year, and he's excited to have him out there. They tried to go into a deep route, which we'll talk about in a second, but Mike Bergonzi kind of talked about him in high note also, saying that he's good to do everything in training camp. We saw how he wasn't put on the PUP list, and that is very good if you want to try to make this roster. He's going to be a full participant and try to show out and try to show that he's still worth being a part of this roster. And he talked about just being in the best shape of his life, and he doesn't think that his knee is going to bother him one bit. So that's one thing that we have to look at once we're going through the later parts of training camp. And then Teron Davenport later said that just how much Cam Ward is trying to trust Treylon Burks. Jarvis Brownlee Jr., who was the winner of training camp today, he broke up a pass as he fell to the ground. Burks got up slowly, jogged back to the huddle, and Brownlee went to the sidelines, took a knee, and traders poured water on him just because he was out of breath. But trying to find Treylon Burks on multiple targets is very interesting, as I'll say it. It looks like I didn't think he was going to make the roster, and he's getting one more shot. Because when you have the wide receiver room of Van Jefferson, Calvin Ridley, Tyler Lockett, you have Xavier Restrepo, Bryce Oliver, all those wide receivers, it didn't look like he was going to make this roster. But after all that I saw from day one, still don't think he's going to make the roster. I think his time is up, and now if he shows out, maybe the Titans could get something for him in a trade. We got two more takeaways for you, but the NFL jerseys, they're on sale right now at Fanatics. If you go to chatsports.com/Ward, you can get the Cam Ward jersey for 20% off, $103.99. So if you haven't got your Cam Ward jersey yet, what are you waiting for? If you want to be out in Nissan Stadium, if you want to be out in Nashville on Broadway wearing your jersey, you can get one today that's on sale, and that supplies last. I bet you at the end of this week, they ain't going to be on sale anymore. So right now, go to chatsports.com/Ward. We'll have that in the comments and description of today's video. Number 4 takeaway is a little bit of position battles that we saw throughout Titans training camp. I mean, the one position battle that I was really looking forward to seeing was a part of the edge. But with Lorenzo Carter retiring, it kind of seems like it's just going to be Femi Oladejo's spot because he was used a ton in coverage. You can see right there, especially in 7-on-7 in the flats. And he has experience playing middle linebacker, so Femi could also be a pass rusher and drop back into coverage with his experience playing interior line. This is what Nick Seuss had to say. He's a writer for the Tennessean on the Tennessee Titans, and he said Oladejo took a higher percentage of significant reps to start training camp than he took during OTAs and minicamp in both 11-on-11 and 7-on-7 situations. In his past life as a college inside linebacker, it came in handy reacting to those pass plays where he batted one pass at the line of scrimmage and matched up with receivers and tight ends. And coming after Lorenzo Carter's surprise retirement, Femi Oladejo also got looks coming after the quarterback, and I think Arden Key would probably be your other edge. Maybe the Titans look to go after another guy, but right now it seems like it's Oladejo's spot to lose. And now we go to the linebackers, and I want to talk about James Williams because he was getting the most reps at the other interior linebacker besides Cody Barton, and I'm still not 100% convinced that he should be that guy. If we look, this was another note from Nick Seuss, and he said second-year linebacker James Williams continued the trend from OTAs, taking a big percentage of team reps alongside Cody Barton. Cedric Gray and Curtis Jacobs appear to be in the mix. And me personally, I don't necessarily love that because he has not really showed that he is starter potential. Like, for me, just go out and sign another linebacker. Kazir White is right there waiting for you. This was his stats last year. 24 tackles. I mean, a 54 PFF grade, 56 pass rush grade, and a 51 run blocking grade. Like, those stats are not great whatsoever. And the Titans, as a team that wants to kind of rebuild and get better and better and better, is a guy that barely has played any NFL football going to be your starting linebacker, alongside Cody Barton and an already weak depth. I'm not so sure about that, but it seems like James Williams, hopefully he can break out in 2025. And my last takeaway, and this is a real concern for me, and it's about the injury update. Now, Lloyd Cushenberry is coming off Achilles injury. He started on the PUP list. I'm not really concerned about that because he's talked about how he's trying to get back, and we've talked about how he's not 100% ready if he's week one. It's L'Jarius Sneed that I'm very, very, very concerned about because last season it was a quad injury the whole entire year, and that's why he only played in a handful of games for the Titans, and they gave him a $76 million contract. Well, yesterday, Mike Borgonzi said that he had his knee cleaned up in May, and he hasn't seen the field. He hasn't worked out with this team. We didn't see him in OTAs. We didn't see him in minicamp. We saw him there, but we haven't seen him actually in action. And then he had his camp about last month and said he was the healthiest he's ever been, but he's still not on the field. And when you look at that depth chart, like Jarvis Brownlee Jr. and Roger McCreary are solid, but after L'Jarius Sneed, what are the Titans going to do here? And when you have that big of a contract, it's a major, major concern. It's day one of training camp. Preseason's right around the corner, and you have until August 26th to activate someone off the PUP list, or else they miss 4 games. So I'm really concerned about L'Jarius Sneed. I don't know if he's going to be on the field week one for the Titans, but I guess we'll see. I hope he's healthy. He says he's healthy. How about you go out in the field and prove it? How concerned are you with L'Jarius Sneed? Go down in the comments on a scale of 1 to 10. 1, you think he's going to be out on the field, or 10, like, oh, why did they give him this contract? What are the Titans doing? Go down right now and type 1 through 10. That's going to do it for this latest episode of Titans Today by Chat Sports. We're day 1 into training camp, but we got a lot more to go, and we got you covered. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. And as always, tighten up.